Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lamone, and this is my review for the road to WrestleMania 41. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Shout out to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on the road to WrestleMania, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, the road to WrestleMania. We are doing this review because usually we only do Raw, SmackDown, and PLE reviews on this channel, along with movie and televisions. It's one to see if we can do stuff that's not just reviews. Because, I have a lot of thoughts on just topics in general. We're going to label this as a review because it kind of is for the most part. But I would like to get into some other wrestling topics as well. And that just doesn't have to deal with the Raw and SmackDown stuff. So one, we're going to see if we can work that into this channel as well. Two, I will not be here when SmackDown is over. And this is going to debut when SmackDown usually goes when the SmackDown review usually goes up. So, two, for that, to keep that consistency. And three, this has just been a really big talking point when it comes on this road, is that it's just one of the worst roads to WrestleManias ever. Not just within the Triple H era, but ever. And I just highly disagree with that completely. There has been a lot worse roads to WrestleMania than what we got. I think 35 was not great. I think 32 wasn't that great, and I was at WrestleMania 32. I was only excited because I was going. I think if I wasn't going to WrestleMania, I don't think I would have been as amped for the show. But I do agree that within the Triple H realm and the Triple H era that we are currently in, yeah, I would say it's the weakest of the three, but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. I just think there was a lot of different things that WWE was doing differently when it comes to this road to WrestleMania that I think they just took too many swings and misses. And I don't discredit them that for trying that. To stay on top, you have to keep pushing. You cannot just sit on your morals and just rest up like, well, we're at the top, we don't need to try it, we just need to keep coasting at what's working. No, you should continue to try different things. I think one thing that has made this road to WrestleMania struggle a little bit is the switch over to the new networks and SmackDown going to 3 hours. I think SmackDown has hurt quite a bit. I was one of the people who was very, very much a defender of the 3 hours of SmackDown. It just wasn't going the way that I expected. Instead of, showcasing new talent and exposing new stars and building them up and really focusing on the wrestling, they just really stretched out a lot of segments where it's like, okay, look, you stretched this out to go 15 minutes. This really only needed 5. This talking segment went for 30 minutes. It really could have only done it at 15. So there was a lot of that stretching, but then also still for some reason, the race to the finish. Sometimes I do feel like they rushed the ending of the shows. But yeah, I think that was a real detriment to hurt. I think the move to Netflix also hurt a little bit too because they were trying to figure out how they're going to book the show. That first January episode, we all agree, wasn't the best, but it was more, like a PLE than it was an episode of Monday Night Raw. After that, I think they found their footing for Monday nights for the most part. Now they need to find their footing for SmackDowns, and maybe it is just simply going back to 2 hours, which does seem like to be the direction that they are heading in. I also think with how long the road to WrestleMania is, typically, and I said this on my March 31st review of Monday Night Raw, so this is the last one before this video went on the air, is that typically around this time, when this video is up, this Saturday would be the first Saturday of April. That's typically WrestleMania weekend. Right now, we have 3 weeks left until WrestleMania. We will now have 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns. So I guess 2 weeks, but in this realm, it will be 3 weeks. Anyway, but we have 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns left until WrestleMania. Also, typically, by the time that first episode of Raw was and this SmackDown, they're usually the first post episodes of the Elimination Chamber. So this had so many more weeks added to the road to WrestleMania than what it normally does. So therefore, a lot of the storylines just were like, okay, we're going to pause on this for a little bit. Okay, we're going to get started on this. Okay, we're going to get a bit of heat up a section here. The Rumble winners really, really struggled this year quite a bit. Now, next year, it's going to go up 1 week, so maybe that would help a little bit because I do know they want to market WrestleMania more in the middle of April moving forward, which is probably the best, especially if they're going to do these outside venues, which is my preferred way to watch WrestleMania. I love the outside stadiums. I love it when it goes to day, then slowly goes to night. I'm actually looking forward to this stage quite a bit because they have the glass roof up top, and it's going to be daytime for the most part of it, and I'm actually really curious to look into that to see how the show looks and the presentation goes through within it. Love the outdoor vibes to it. So if you want to do that moving forward, then yeah, absolutely. You should move it to more middle April so that you have more guaranteed better weather, because you don't want a 40 situation where the crowd is so cold that they just can't make any noise. And with that, with the moving up, I think is going to be a little bit better. But with the Rumble winners being announced on the 1st of February, and like there was 14 weeks until we get to WrestleMania, a lot of the storylines like, okay, I picked my winner because we need them to pick their winner because the other chamber winner faces the other champion at WrestleMania. And I actually really like that presentation quite a bit. I don't really like the champion defending the belt inside the Elimination Chamber. I like it being a number one contenders match because you had to go through hell to have an opportunity to be the golden champion heading into it. Once we get back to, if ever, whether it's not a brand split anymore, we just have one world champion, fine. Then, you know, you have them defend the belt, so that way they're like, okay, well, this is their last chance to solidify they're going to Mania. But yeah, you know, the World Heavyweight Championship hasn't been defended since Saturday night's main event when they did Jey Uso. Maybe that was a mistake to have the match at Saturday night's main event and then just to do it again at WrestleMania. But overall, I've liked the Jey Uso and Gunther feud quite a bit. It's been having its hit or misses for sure, but I think this past Monday it finally hit the right temperature, and now it's just about keeping that momentum going. A lot of people saying Jay shouldn't say yeet anymore up until then. I don't know how I necessarily feel about that, but because, you know, it's so part of his character, maybe he doesn't come out right with it, but I think the segment with Jimmy, with how him being a bloody mess, I mean, it was the thumbnail for that review. I think they did a great stellar job, and to me, they outshined Cody and Cena within that. And then Charlotte and Tiffany on the other side, they always have some good moments, like that brawl was really, really good, and then we had the whole backstage segment where Charlotte did get the best of Tiffany on it, but then Tiffany evened it out. Need some more promos, get them in the actual ring together, and, you know, see if Tiffany can sink or swim. But yeah, the Rumble storylines overall, because again, they started February 1st, and they have to culminate on April 19th and 20th. That's a long time. That's a really long time to build. Usually when the Rumble winner is announced, you know, they take a little bit of time off, and then, you know, okay, now we're going to turn it on because WrestleMania is legitimately right around the corner. It's been a lot longer for them, and now either one of them are going to the main event. I know a lot of people are upset about that. I mean, I've been saying this ever since WrestleMania was one night and we only had men Rumbles matches. It has never been about guaranteeing you're in the main event. It just means you get a world title match, which means you are a main event, but you're not guaranteed the main event of the show. I think also, hey, yeah, let's give the chamber winner some loves too, because, you know, we got to make the chamber more important too, because a lot of cases is that the elimination chamber, and this was like that last year too, where it was just, you know, filler for the most part. We knew who the winners were going to be, and then it moved on. It was never used for big angles or anything like that, and they're never going to close out the show the chamber winner. So, you know, why even try, right? Like, it's just something to get past through it until we get to WrestleMania. It's a roadblock, which was a name at one point. We were just on the fast lane, if you will, because, you know, it was Carnage. Those used to be the PLEs right before WrestleMania in, you know, that horrible 2018 and 2019 era anyway. But now the chamber feels much more important. So when we get to next year, it does mean a lot more. Like, you don't have to put all your eggs in a basket when it comes to the Rumble winner. You can also look at the chamber as well to really move it forward. I also think another thing that WWE has been trying to do with, you know, that's new with this road to WrestleMania is that they're now blowing the load. You know what I mean? Not to be so crude about it, but like, yeah, sure, we have our big main events. We have John Cena and Cody Rhodes. We have this gigantic triple threat. I know a lot of people really wanted the one-on-ones between Punk and Roman, Punk and Rollins, Rollins and Roman, just a combination of the two, then the other one goes to do something else. But I know we have those two matches that feel very, very huge. They're main eventing their respective nights respectfully. But they're also really setting up for the future. There's teases that, like, okay, we teased Drew and Cody. We teased Jay and someone else. We did a lot of teasing for past WrestleMania that I actually really, really appreciate. But I do think the biggest crutch we're at this road to WrestleMania where a lot of people have frustrations and they're thinking that it's really, really bad is due to just how long it is. I mean, typically, you know, we have a good idea what WrestleMania is in November. They didn't really start until maybe January, and I guess maybe to a degree we started it in July when Money in the Bank, when John Cena came out, because with all the thing that we were going to go through within that. It just feels very, very long for the most part. But overall, I like the matches, and I kind of like the stories that we've gotten. Like I said, Tiffany and Charlotte, yeah, sure, it has hit or misses. It took a minute to get going, but I do think they're really starting to cook up the pot quite a bit. Hopefully this Friday we have a big segment with it. I think the triple threat match, as weird and confusing as it is how we got here, I'm glad that we just got it announced and we got it going. Bianca, Io, and Rhea, the other triple threat match, I do wish would just get confirmed. I think it is very, very convoluted at this point. I think it is a contender to be match of the weekend for sure. There's actually a good chunk of these matches that I think it has a contention to be match of the weekend. But if I had to put my money down on a lead favorite, it would be these three women. And yeah, part of me thinks they probably should have got the nod to main event night one over the men. But hey, it is what it is. Punk, Roman, and Seth are three huge names. Those three ladies are good names in their own right. I mean, Rhea gets just as loud as pops as Roman and Cody. Bianca, I think, it also has that level of noise too. Io is getting there, and how you get them to have that level of noise as those men, then you put them in the main event. But it just, unfortunately, it is what it is. It could be a good night 2 opener. I think they solidified an opening slot for WrestleMania. I really do think they would hurt them if they put them in the co-main event, because the crowd's going to save their breath for the actual main event. But yeah, but the way that we got in there, and I've enjoyed the segment more than the other triple threat for sure. But how we get in there with the whole special guest referee stuff was a little much for me. And hopefully Monday we just go, Adam Pearce just goes, you know what, I've had enough. We're just going to do a triple threat match and we'll just make it clear. But it's very weird because Rhea should be working the heel. Like, she's clearly the heel in this storyline. And she probably should get pinned at Mania. I'm still going back and forth on who I think should win, Io or Bianca. I think I'm leaning more towards Io just because of the whole, they overlook her all the way through, and that Bianca and Rhea kind of take each other out, and Io just kind of gets the win to claim that she is the better woman, and she does deserve this women's world title. Even though I do want Bianca, I think my heart wants Bianca to win because I want a streak to be at WrestleMania. I think we're missing that spectacle. We're missing that variety of it, of like, okay, is someone going to be able to beat the streak? I think that's why I want Bianca to win more. If we didn't have a streak, then I think, yeah, by bar none, Io Sky deserves the victory. But yeah, I just wish it was more clear when we were getting to that triple threat match. I think another match that's really in contention to steal the weekend is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, especially if they add a stipulation, which does look like we're going to do with the whole car angle. Again, I don't know what they did on SmackDown because I am recording this before SmackDown. But whatever they did, maybe the match is official now. I know it's not official yet. I think that's another thing that's really hurting this WrestleMania is that we don't know what a lot of these matches are going through. I'm only going through the ones that are either basically confirmed or are confirmed right now. But I think they've had a good segment. I think, honestly, out of all them, minus Cody and Cena, and maybe Gunther and Jay, they've had the best feud heading into it. Like, I've really enjoyed every segment that they've been. I feel like the crowd has really reacted to them as well. So yeah, hopefully Friday it is confirmed that they are fighting. By the time you're watching this, it is probably confirmed. But yeah, I think that's a contention to steal the show for the weekend. Another one is one that no one wants me to admit, but Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, I think, has a contention to steal the show this weekend too. Yes, the story hasn't been great. I'm not even gonna front y'all. But sometimes it's not about the story; it's just about the destination. I think these two are going to, especially if they're given time, they're gonna do a lot of crazy stuff, and you have every right to not like Logan Paul. Some of the stuff is very, very warranted, absolutely. But you cannot say he is not a good professional wrestler, and he does perform very, very well. I mean, that pulverizer move, yeah, we can argue about it till the cows come home, which means we shouldn't, on who is more impressive with that move. Is it Logan? Is it AJ for the sell? I don't really care. It looks cool either way, and I cannot wait to see it on the biggest stage of them all. And I do think that's all the matches that are confirmed, or basically confirmed at this point heading into it. Some of the other matches that are not yet confirmed for it, but they will be the WWE Tag Team titles on SmackDown. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Street Profits, DIY, and Motor City Machine Guns. That's it. They were just trying to eliminate the filler tag teams, even though they have been active in it. I'm still going to hold on hope that it's going to be a tables, ladders, and chairs match, just because we've seen a lot of ladder matches, but we haven't seen a TLC match since maybe the last TLC PLE, which I don't know when that was. But was it 2020? Was it 2020, the last actual TLC match? Yeah, I think it's been long overdue for us to get not just ladders, but tables and chairs within it. And I think to bring it back at WrestleMania is very, very warranted for that. Hopefully that gets confirmed. That's the other thing. We just need to get these matches confirmed. Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman in the last man standing match. I guess the winner faces LA Knight at Mania for the belt. Hopefully Jacob wins and it stays a one-on-one, because I really don't like this copy and paste thing that they do sometimes, because we're clearly doing a fatal four-way between Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic, and Finn Balor for the IC title over there. And over here with the men, what is it? We have Braun involved, we have Jacob involved, we have Solo involved, we have LA Knight, of course, the champion, involved. Maybe we throw in a couple other people too, like Andrade. Ray Phoenix is debuting on SmackDown. Maybe he gets involved as well. And they have a ladder match, so we have a TLC match on one night, and we have just a regular ladder match on the other night. I don't know, but yeah, it's just like, what are we doing? I just need it more clear. Same with the World Tag titles on Raw. Like, I would assume we'll keep it at New Day versus War Raiders, but that storyline was completely fast forward. But as long as the New Day gets the belts, because I feel like the titles will actually be focused. If the New Day have the belts, then, by all means, do it. But I think it's just going to be a matter of what's happened on the other side besides the match is going to steal the show. Also, with the women's IC title and the women's tag team champions, which way is it going to go? Is it going to be another fatal four-way with Rhea, Liv, Bayley, and Lyra? Or is it a tag team title match with Lyra and Bayley versus Raquel and Liv? It's just, again, a lot of convoluted things with the road and the direction. It's just not clear. And I don't know if it's just because, again, we've had so much time where Triple H just thinks we can bypass. But I do think, especially with the attendance, which I don't think is fully WWE's fault or even TKO's fault for that matter, because when the Super Bowl was there, it was the lowest attended Super Bowl as well, because the ticket prices were so high, because Vegas is expensive. Vegas is really, really expensive. And with how the time zone is and all that stuff, can people get off, can do all these different things, it's just really, really hard. I'm also not a fan of them doing all these different events afterwards. Like, part of me understands it, because when Mania starts, it will be 4 p.m. there, because it's going to start 6 p.m. my time, and I'm 2 hours ahead of Vegas. So it'll be 4 p.m. there. So when WrestleMania is over, it'll be 8. So doing these WrestleMania after dark stuff, I just feel like, yeah, go to this bar or whatever, and you'll have a good time. Maybe some people will show up, but just have it be stuff for wrestling fans to hang out. Don't charge them more. Like, it's like 40 events, and these ticket prices are already super expensive, and we need these matches to be confirmed so that we can sell these tickets. But damn, man, you are running a lot of people dry. Like, I would be intimidated to go with all these different events to go in, because there is someone who's going to go to all 13. There is someone who is going to go to SmackDown, the Hall of Fame, to Stand and Deliver, to WrestleMania Night 1, to WrestleMania After Dark, and one Dead Man's Show, somehow. I don't know. And then they're going to go to the Slammies. They're going to go to WrestleMania Night 2. They're going to go to the Roast. They're going to go to Raw. They're going to go to NXT. Oh, and they're going to go to WWE World as well. There is someone who's going to do that. And honestly, hopefully there's a video showing how much money they spent, not just to get into the door, but just in general. And I'm like, how? But yeah, it's just, again, this road to WrestleMania, to me, it has not been the best. And out of the 3 roads to WrestleMania that Triple H has done, sure, it's the weakest. I also think the honeymoon phase is officially over. The standard has been set by WWE, and now they have to top it. The product is still very, very good. And again, for the most part, even with SmackDown being 3 hours, I think they're all watchable. It's just nothing really been memorable besides this past Monday's on March 31st, where, the Cena Cody segment, the Gunther and Jay segment, and even the world title match in the main event was memorable to a degree as well, even as convoluted as it was. Hopefully we start to get that momentum on SmackDown. Again, I will not know. Y'all have to tell me in the comment section how good SmackDown was. Hopefully it was, especially with them being in Chicago, because Chicago ain't gonna fly for mediocrity. But yeah, again, I just don't think it has been as bad as people are making it. And I think it's still very good. I think you have to understand all the things that WWE had to overcome to go through it. I mean, they were on Netflix for the first time. They went to SmackDown's 3 hours, and now, oh, the road to WrestleMania is even longer than what it used to be. There was a lot of hurdles that they have to go jump over. Some of them they have jumped over clearly, but some of them they have hit the hurdle a couple times for it. So yeah, I think next year they'll take everything that they learned here and they will be better for it. And we will move on. But yeah, overall, what did you think of the road to WrestleMania? Are you someone like me who's like, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it hasn't been horrible? Or are you like, no, Zeke, you have no idea what you're talking about. You are just you're just defending them way too much, and this is why it's wrong. I'm all for the open conversation as long as it is very, very respectful. Leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. If you made it this far within a review, which is one of my longer videos, please leave a like. I do greatly appreciate that. And I will see y'all here next time here at Lemon Studios.